Picture this. Chaos erupts with a single, striking swallow freeze frame moment that drops you right into the madness, teasing more trouble to come. It's not a MOV trailer. It's what happens when a self-righteous busybody with a fake HOA tries to flex her authority in the wrong neighborhood. Yep, that's me in the middle of a guy whose private well this wannabe dictator tapped into to water her precious flowers. My response? I flushed her system with sewage. And trust me, that was just the opening act. You're probably wondering, wait, how do you even do that legally? And how did she not notice? Well, let me take you back to the beginning, because this wasn't supposed to turn into a war. I moved out here for peace, privacy, and maybe a quiet barbecue with my 9-year-old daughter, Lily. I'm a construction foreman, not some troublemaker. I don't mess with people's lives but push me hard enough, and I'll mess with their property lines. The neighborhood seemed perfect at first, quiet, tidy, close enough to work. My property sat just beyond the HOA's grasp, a little oasis of freedom surrounded by manicured lawns and uptight families. I didn't mind their color-coded trash cans or silent leaf blowers. I had my tools, a big driveway, and weekends filled with Lily's chalk art and my questionable grilling skills. Life was good. Then came Janet. I spotted her the day after I moved in short blonde hair, crisp capris, giant sunglasses at dusk, clutching a clipboard like it was a sheriff's badge. She marched up to me as I unloaded lumber from my truck and declared, "Just so you know, you can't leave that trailer there overnight. It viola Section 4C. No hello, no handshake, just a rule thrown at me like a fastball." I blinked. "I'm not in your HOA." She flashed a smug smile, the kind that screams trouble. "That's cute, but everyone on this street follows the guidelines. It's about community spirit." I shrugged, turning back to my truck. "Then call me the neighborhood rebel." That was our meet cute. She hated it. For the next 2 weeks, Janet made it her mission to fix me. If I left my porch light on past 10, she'd knock. If Lily's chalk art lingered overnight, it accidentally got hosed off. One night, I caught her measuring my grass with a ruler. I'm not kidding. Then she upped the ante. One evening, I got home to find her minivan parked across my driveway, blocking me entirely. I had groceries. Lily was asleep in the back seat. I honked once, twice. No response. I parked a block away, carried my kid and bags home, and seethed. The next morning, her car was still there. I knocked on her door, nothing. Rang the bell, silence. I called a tow truck, but before it arrived, she appeared in a bathrobe, coffee in hand, smirking. "Oh, was I in your way?" I kept it together barely. "Yeah, you were." She waved me off. "Technically, that's public property. I can park there." It wasn't, but even if it were, it was a jerk move. I told her so. She shut the door in my face like I was peddling junk. I should have let it go, but she didn't. A week later, I got a letter from the Pinewood Community Council, an HOA I never joined, claiming my driveway fell under their shared jurisdiction due to zoning proximity. It was fake, a cheap power grab printed on flimsy paper. I laughed, then fumed. This wasn't about parking, it was about control. Janet thought she could bully anyone into her rules, even those outside her domain. I don't take kindly to threats disguised as paperwork, but I held back. I didn't want to stir things up for Lily. She was settling in, making friends. So, I put up orange cones with private access do not block signs. Janet called the city, claiming they were unauthorized traffic VYCES. A week later, a bored municipal worker hauled them away. Then came the breaking point. One Saturday, Lily and I were outside. She was crafting a chalk dragon on the driveway. Hours of work with red scales and golden flames. I said with coffee and encouragement. She beamed with pride. Then Janet's minivan rolled in, crushing it without hesitation. Crunch, smear. She stepped out, glanced at the wreckage, and said, "Maybe don't let your kid draw where people drive." Then she walked off. I stood there, stunned, as Lily stared at her ruined masterpiece. I hugged her, promised we'd make something better tomorrow, and took her inside. But that was it. Janet didn't want peace. She wanted dominance, even if it meant stomping on my kid. So, I dug into my property map, studied local codes, and found a golden loophole. Part of the cul-de-sac she used to park technically crossed my land. That gravel she drove over? Mine. And I could do whatever I wanted with it. I ordered 4 tons of place sand. When the delivery guy arrived, he asked if I was building a beach. "Nope," I said, "a trap." That was phase 1. But before I could start, I noticed something else. My well's pressure dropped. I checked the valve and found a new pipe running straight to Janet's yard. She'd illegally tapped my water to feed her roses. I hadn't even begun my revenge, and she'd already escalated. So, how far is too far when someone steals your water, destroys your kids' art, lies to officials, and claims your land? I was about to find out. Next, I'll tell you how sewage, a garden hose, and a sandbox became neighborhood legend. Legal revenge is a beautiful thing. It lets you sleep soundly while your enemy wonders if they've been war crimed. After spotting her secret pipe, I didn't yell or confront her. I smiled, rolled up my sleeves, and planned something unforgettable. Not a lawsuit, but an experience. First, I gave her a chance to back off. Call it manners. I taped a note to her spigot, "Creative plumbing. Wells don't run on goodwill," and signed, just to make her sweat. She didn't bitty. No apology, no retreat. Her sprinklers ran longer the next day, daring me to snap. She didn't know construction guys are built for two things: outlasting storms and winning petty wars. Enter Operation Sandbox Janet. If she loved blocking my driveway, I'd give her an off-road adventure. I ordered tons of play sand, mapped a 10 by 10 patch on my property's edge, legally mine, permits in hand, and had it dumped at dawn. The driver laughed at my pizza box sketch, but piled it high. Janet didn't notice until noon, too busy fake jogging with untouched water bottle in hand. When she stormed over, snapping photos, I offered her a juice box. "It's Lily's new play area," I said, "since you keep ruining her chalk spot." Her eye twitched. She threatened the HOA, again, not my HOA, then the city. I flashed my permits and grinned. By evening, her car sank into the sand, parked in her usual spot, ignoring warnings. Her tires spun uselessly. The more she gunned it, the deeper she sank. I watched from my porch with popcorn. Lily insisted we make. Neighbors joined, Tom with a beer, Lisa with her dogs, the Carter twins on bikes. Janet demanded help. I handed her a toy shovel. "Stay hydrated," I said. She dug herself deeper, literally and figuratively. But she didn't quit. Next day, she slapped a fake HOA citation on my mailbox for sand runoff, complete with forged logos. So, I called a waste management buddy and borrowed a decommissioned sewage tank. When someone taps your well illegally, you can reroute for maintenance. I got city approval to disconnect her line, then flipped the backup purge valve. The next morning, her garden drowned in brown sludge. She screamed, slipped, and face-planted into it, breaking her fall on a gnome. I didn't laugh out loud. The cops came, with a city engineer who confirmed her illegal tap. "You're lucky you didn't sue," he told her as she stood there, muddy and defeated. Too far. Maybe. But her next move made it wilder. She tried to take me down and accidentally tanked her HOA. More on that soon.